Well, we just filled up here in Nugget City, and we're headed towards the start of the Cassiar Highway, heading south.
Yeah, we came up, if you remember, to Alaska on the Alaska Highway, and we've been on the Alaska Highway a little bit now, but we're going to turn south and deviate off the Alaska Highway and go down the Cassiar.
Yeah, it's how long is the Cassiar? I don't remember. 400
and some miles. It's a long road.
Yeah, so it'll take us a few days.
It's pretty remote too. There's no cell service at all anywhere along the road, they say, so we're on our own.
And there is a wildfire on the Cassiar.
Yeah.
We're starting to see smoke, and you can definitely smell smoke here.
So hopefully we'll drive out of that pretty quickly. I'm looking forward to it. We've heard it's a gorgeous drive. We're looking forward to seeing it for ourselves. We might have a change of plans. We were just getting ready to pull out and head down to the Cassiar, pull out from the fuel station, and someone came in and said that the Cassiar is closed because of the wildfire. So Jeff is going in to talk to him in the gas station to see if they have any information about, you know, when it might reopen. So we're trying to figure out if we should hang out or if we should head on down the Alaska Highway, same way we came in. It's kind of disappointing. Update, the guy in the gas station, I guess, told Jeff that the road is not closed, that the signs are wrong, and that if the road was closed, they would have it actually barricaded off. So
that's what he said.
Do we try it or not?
Yeah, let's try it, see what happens.
Okay, I hope we don't get in trouble for going down a road that says marked closed. Final update, hopefully. We just saw a worker on the side of the road. We stopped and talked to him. He said that for now the road is open with alternating traffic, but that could change at any moment. So we're headed down the Cassiar Highway and we'll see what happens. We're looking forward to it. We're hoping that we get to keep going and we don't have to turn around and come back this way. Here's what it looks like so far. Not sure how far down we get before we run into the problems with the fire. Here is the area where we are stopped for the fire. We're waiting for the oncoming traffic to come. The lady who's working up here says that it'll be about 30 minutes, so not too much of a delay. And then it's one-way traffic through the fire area, and we'll be on our way again. Smoke is super thick here. We must be getting pretty close to the active burn area. 2023 was a record year for wildfires in British Columbia, where over 7 million acres burned during the fire season. This is the most ever burned in a single season in the province and is more than double the last record set in 2018. This particular fire is the Little Blue River Fire that was first spotted on July 6th and is believed to have been started by lightning. And just like that, we're out of the one-way traffic zone and we are out of the smoke, it looks like. Smoke must have all been blowing north. For our first night on the route, we stayed at Boya Lake Provincial Park and were lucky enough to get a campsite right on the lake. Boy, this place is spectacular. I think the Cassiar Highway was worth it.
For dinner tonight, it is fried potatoes and onions and fresh salmon caught in the Russian River in Alaska. Not by us, but by some friends that we met in Fairbanks. Thanks, Mike and Michelle.
These are two delicious looking plates of food.
Looks good.
What do you think about your Russian River salmon?
I think it's delicious. I think the only thing that would have made it better is if I could have caught it.
We are at Jade City, which is a place where they have jade. They have it all the way from the raw jade that they cut and polish, all the way up to jewelry and finished products.
Yeah, but once it is, it's going to be almost like a glossy finish on itself.
Awesome. So we're here at Jade City.
Jade City, world famous Jade City. Just explaining our big wire saw.
Yeah, so tell me about how this works and how you would run a wire around the jade and cut it.
The wire we got is a diamond inlay rubber wire with cable insert. And you wrap it around the pulley, you wrap it around the rock you want to cut. Sometimes you have to drill holes to do so. And this particular saw, you can adjust the speed on the track to how far it pulls itself and the speed of the wheel. So I can cut a 20-ton boulder in 8 hours if I wanted to do it. Using our gravity wire saw, a rock that big would take me about 5 days.
So electric powered saw, and it's advancing on these tracks.
Yeah, 3-phase.
Incredible. Yeah, neat stuff.
All of our jade is mined locally. Our mine is 60 miles, air miles from here. So we have to drive all the way 116 kilometers down the highway and then go in 72 kilometers on miles of drive in the ditch. It'd be smoother. And it's formed from the lava beds from the bottom and water on the top. It was formed under the ocean. It's opposite of diamonds. Diamond was rock on rock with pressure, right? Coal. This was lava to water.
So this is the wire that would be used around the big spool or the big drum on the saw. And it's kind of rubber in the middle with sections of diamond here, diamond cutting bits. And it's very flexible. So they'd wrap this around the back side of the boulder, and the machine would pull it around. It would just keep cutting its way until it gets to the very end here, and then the stone would break off. So you can see that it cut all the way through this boulder, and this was the last little bit that was holding on when it finally snapped off.
Boy, these places in Canada we've been staying the last few nights have really had some really nice campsites. Right along the water with great views. It's a great place to camp. Today was pretty bumpy and it was pretty narrow in sections, but we made it to Kanaskan Provincial Park, which is where we're staying for the night on beautiful Kanaskan Lake. The smoke has moved into this area, and we were hoping that we would drive out of it or that the wind would shift and move it on along, but it's still pretty smoky. So I'll take you over to the lake here in a second and show you. And there's all that smoke I was talking about. You can hardly even see the mountains across the lake. Still really pretty though. It's really a shame that it's so smoky because the weather otherwise is spectacular. It's low 70s and sun. Clear skies, gorgeous. After dinner, this happened. We don't really know where they came from, but what a fun and unexpected sight. We just left Canaskin Lake Campground, Provincial Park, and we are on to day 3 of driving the Cassiar Highway.
It's a rainy day.
Yeah, had the same thought. It's a rainy day. It's kind of nasty out.
Rainy and 41.
Day 3 of driving the Cassiar Highway is complete. And another day of an amazing lakeside campsite. There's the Bigfoot. And there's the lake. We are at Meziadin Lake. This place is slammed, way busier than any of the other places we've been. But we were able to get here early enough in the day to get a lakeside campsite. Today is day 4 along the Cassiar Highway. You can see that the weather is about the same as it was yesterday. It's kind of rainy, really low clouds. There's a lot of gorgeous mountains around, but you can't see much of them because of the clouds. But that's okay, because check this out. Can you see that glacier there? That is Bear Glacier. We have deviated just a little bit off the Cassiar, taken a side trip to Stewart and Hyder, and we'll take you along for the ride. But check out that glacier. That is awesome. We kind of thought our glacier days were through once we left Alaska, but not so. Wow. Seeing all the glaciers has been one of my favorite things about this trip. I love them. Heading into Bear River Canyon. After driving through Bear River Canyon, we arrived in Stewart, British Columbia and set up for a couple of nights. Our first stop after setting up was the town's estuary boardwalk.
Today we're in Stewart, British Columbia, and we're walking down the boardwalk out to their estuary.
Behind me is the Portland Canal. It's a really long canal. We're not really sure. She said it was the longest somewhere. I don't know if it's in the world or if it's in British Columbia or Canada. I don't know. It's long. It's a long canal.
90 miles.
90 miles to open water.
Yeah, so it's really just like a giant fjord. It's a beautiful place. It's very wet, very green and lush.
There are giant, gorgeous mountains all around us, and they're covered in clouds right now. It's a pretty rainy, cloudy day. There were even a few straggler salmon still trying to make their way up the creek. And the sight of a bald eagle never ceases to be amazing.
We're packed up and we're getting ready to head out to the Fish Creek Wildlife Observation Area.
That is in Hyder, Alaska. We're currently in Stewart, BC, just across the border. So we get to cross the border one last time today, and this will be our last hurrah in Alaska, I guess.
Yeah, they tell us Hyder is a really tiny little town. Was a population
like 12 or something.
Yeah, 12.
Really small.
So should be an interesting day.
Yeah. Hyder, Alaska is both the geographically easternmost town in Alaska and the southernmost town in the state that can be reached by road. That looks like the Canadian Customs building we'll have to go through on the way back. But there is no customs when you cross into Alaska. Look here we are. Welcome to Hyder, Alaska. Entering Alaska.
Welcome to the United States of America.
Even though it has mainland road access, Hyder is so cut off from the rest of Alaska that it is almost totally dependent on Stewart just across the Canadian border. Residents of Hyder follow Pacific Standard Time instead of Alaska Standard Time like the rest of the state. They do most of their shopping across the border, rely on Canadian electricity and emergency services, and even send their children to Canadian schools. And other than the U.S. Post Office, all businesses in Hyder accept both U.S. and Canadian currency.
Your destination is on the left.
Here's the wildlife viewing area. We just pulled into the Fish Creek Wildlife Viewing Area outside of Hyder, Alaska. We've heard that this is a really great place to see black bears and grizzly bears feeding on salmon, but the season for that is July through mid-September. Today is September 13th. We're at the very end of the season. We'll have to see if there's any bears out there. Fish Creek Wildlife Observation Site is the only bear viewing site in Alaska that is accessible by road and is where visitors can often observe black bears, grizzly bears, and even occasionally wolves fishing. A pass is required from July 1st to September 20th and must be reserved online before arrival since there's no internet service in the area. This is a pretty awesome spot. I sure wish there were some bears around. I really want to see a bear fishing.
Not a lot of action today. No bear sightings yet. I think we got a little bit too late of a start this morning.
Well, we weren't going to do it, but now we are on the gravel road up to Salmon Glacier.
So here's a shock. It's another Alaskan bumpy, windy gravel road.
Yep. We weren't going to do it because it's been raining so much and we heard that it could be pretty muddy in the rain and slick. But we've kind of gotten a break in the weather and it's not, I mean, it's still wet obviously, but it's not terribly wet. It's not pulled up anyway. So we're trying it.
Well, and this is the largest of Alaska's glaciers that you could drive up to.
No, this is the largest glacier in the world that you can drive to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to do it, right?
So we'll see. We'll see if we make it all the way, and we'll see if we see anything once we get up there, because it is still kind of cloudy. And we'll see how muddy we get too. We're only a couple of miles down this road and we're already contemplating turning around. This is super potholed. This spot's kind of smooth, but you hit these spots that have a billion potholes in them. You can't avoid them. That is some potholes. Just be careful because I can't see around this curve. Now we are passing through the active Premier Mine.
Bunch of activity.
Yeah, there's a shortcut.
Well, we just ran into a couple of guys that work here at the mine, and this is a gold and silver mine, and it's still kind of in the startup phase. It was a old mine from the 80s that was mothballed, and they're kind of starting things back up again, and they hope to get about a gold bar every couple of days, I think he said, and a gold bar was somewhere between $1 million and $1.5 million every couple of days, and they're supposed to start up in the spring. So wow, that's a lot of money. There's a ton of activity right now, and the guys tell us that they're really just kind of in the preparation stage right now, just kind of preparing the area, working through some old tailings, and building their settling pond here in preparation to start activities in the spring.
This is the toe of Salmon Glacier. It was the worst road I've ever been on to get here, but we made it. Salmon Glacier is reached via the Grand Duck Road, which begins in Hyder, Alaska and crosses back into British Columbia. It is Canada's 5th largest glacier and is a remnant of the Fraser glaciation period when ice covered much of what we now know as British Columbia and Alaska.
We've made it to the summit. Check out the view out the windshield. Holy cow.
It probably doesn't look like much though. It probably just looks like clouds because there's a lot of clouds that have rolled in.
That is one massive glacier.
It's really cool.
We're up at the summit, and the glacier kind of takes a big turn, and this is the view after the turn. So we just got a tip for next time.
Yep.
Across the road from Salmon Glacier, kind of behind us here, is kind of a, what would you call it, an unmarked hiking trail to another glacier. It's about 1.5 kilometers to get there.
I don't even know that it's actually a trail. There's just a glacier back there that this lady who is from the area said that you can walk to. So she said there's ice caves and everything you could go in, which would be really cool.
Yeah, we're not prepared for it this time. We didn't bring our backpacks or bear spray or anything.
No. And the weather's really not conducive to it today, so next time.
We'll hit it next time. Well, now that we've arrived at the summit, the clouds have also arrived, and it's really socked in.
Yeah, we can't see anything. We drove up all those bumpy roads, and we get no view.
So, I don't know. We're kind of waiting here for a bit to see if the clouds break up, but so far,
It's just getting heavier.
yeah, it's really socked in. You can't hardly see anything at all.
When we first got here, you could see just like a ghost image of it behind the clouds. You can't see anything now. Nothing.
All right, we're scrambling. The view just opened up for just a moment. So we waited.
And we are so glad we did. We finally got a good clear shot of Salmon Glacier.
Yeah, the wait really paid off.
It is amazing.
So we had to stop on the way back for one last look at the next viewpoint. Look at this place. Get a load of this.
Well, looks like we made it back to the pavement.
Ah, smooth road.
We are leaving Hyder, Alaska, getting ready to cross back into Canada.
Yep, we're heading back over to Stewart in British Columbia.
And that's a wrap on our Alaska adventures for this trip.
It's been a great trip.
Yep, make no mistake though, we will be back.
Yeah, Alaska, we're coming for you.
We love it here.
And here we are. We are at the border between Alaska and BC, heading back towards BC. This is our last hooray in Alaska, at least for this trip.
We have had a great visit to Stewart and Hyder.
Yeah, we've been staying here at the Bear River RV Park for the last couple of nights. It's a really nice place. They've got it fixed up real nice.
Super nice people too. But now it's time to move on. We're going to head back to the Cassiar Highway, and if all goes well, we should complete it today. So far, this final portion of the Cassiar Highway, the southernmost portion, just kind of looks like a drive through the woods. There are some really nice fall colors though. We have completed the Cassiar Highway. Turning right now just onto the Yellowhead Highway, I believe, headed toward Prince George, but it'll be a day or two before we get there.